guys, it's Caleb with Wet Metal Games here. It is Friday, October the 5th, and I wanted to do a quick update about what's going on in the studio this week. Mostly what we've done this week is just finish up some stuff from last week. So there won't be a lot of new things, but we can show you how things finished out. So without further ado, let's get started. Terrain was the big order of the day this week. I've been working on some terrain projects. So here is the first set of terrain I worked on. I'm calling these Manufactorum walls. So these are basically just heavy-duty polystyrene that you can get in most shipping materials, and all I've done is glued it down to some MDF basing, some hard basing, and glued it down with some nice liquid nail. I've applied a coat of black by hand, and then I've coated it with this spray paint. Now, one thing you'll note is that there is some places here where the spray is actually eaten into the polystyrene, and that is a problem. Anytime you use spray paint on this sort of material, it is a risk. But I thought that I had coated it with enough black that it would not be a problem. However, clearly that was not the case because you can see some degradation here. So now the question is, do I go back and do I try to repair that and repaint it, or do I just leave it as is? More likely than not, because this is a fairly inexpensive set of terrain, I'm just going to leave it. It's meant to be just a simple set of terrain you can play with at your home, and I think for the most part it accomplishes that. Here are two other pieces in the same set. So this one is more square, it looks like more of a corner piece, and then it's got the Manufactorum symbol on there. This is basically just a copper color, I added some black to. I like the mix of red and this sort of copper and this earth tone for the base. I could get into more detail on this, I could add some doodads and stuff, but because this is just a simple set of terrain that I just designed to be quick and easy, more likely than not I'm just going to leave it as is and just keep it that way. This was more of a test set than anything, so that'll probably be going up on the eBay store for a reasonable price. Here are the rest of the pieces in the same set. Like I said, it's been mostly just doing some... actually, before I even get to that... Oh, no, it's on that set, I have to. So this is more terrain from the same set. It's basically just Cities of Death stuff, like bits and pieces of City Fight terrain pieces, extra pieces from Necron kits that I had spare, spare bits of whatever on MDF basing. And anyway, all this stuff just goes together. I've added this thin layer of stucco to it to sort of blend it into the base a little bit, and that will, it doesn't even need to sand down, it'll actually just stay right how it is, and it gets pretty hard. It will flake a little bit, but not much. For the most part, it'll stay in place. So you just give that about 12 hours to dry or so, and I made some little barricades too to go with that, just little junk barricades. These are larger piles. These are actually going to be like junk piles. That there's plenty of room for troops to move in between there. There's a few flat places for troops to stand on top. Mostly it's just terrain for blocking line of sight. Here's another piece from our other set, much like the Manufactorum walls. This will be another one. I'll probably do these in a different color. But I like the red and the terra color, like that earth terracotta. I think it's fun for like a Mars effect. Here are some walls I was working on. These basically just got coated with a little gray and then a little blue. And I'll probably go over this with just a little something else, maybe some darker color here, maybe give it a quick dry brush of another shade of gray, and maybe throw a couple bits of flocking on the base. This is that slantish icon that I had shown you, and I thought this came out pretty well. Let me take it over to the light so you can really see it. So basically this is just two shades, a lower shade of purple and then a higher shade of a more burgundy color with a terracotta base. Now obviously this needs some touch-ups, so I'm going to go back in and fill it in with some grass. I'm going to make it look like this has been overgrown. But I think as a rough icon, that's not too bad. It certainly fits the basic bill, and that will probably go up in the web store. This was a shadow box I was working on. I don't know if you saw this last time, but it's designed to be a background piece for when I photograph miniatures. I'll have something in the background to sort of break it up instead of just being so white. So it's sort of a Manufactorum entrance or a hidden Adeptus Mechanicus entrance on Mars. It's like got these massive doors, and then it's got the mechanical symbol up there. It's got this skull with some mechanical gizmos on them and a couple gun emplacements here to protect anyone who would be foolish enough to try to enter. So I'll probably go back in and do some OSL in this area here, maybe this area here. I'll probably do like a red to keep in that color scheme. These you probably saw a long time ago, but these are some Tyranid bits that I made for terrain. So what these are from a snake alien from the Kenner toy line, and I just mounted those to this wooden base with some pin, and then I just basically hit them with a couple different colors to break it up a little bit. I could apply a wash if I'm so inclined. I'll add some base stuff on here, like some sand or some dirt or something. That'll be done. This is a set of Imperial Sector set of terrain that will probably be sold as a set. So these are 4 different buildings. This was achieved through some grays and some blues, and then the coppery colors were some airbrush colors. And what I'm going to do is go back in there and hit that a little bit more. This one you can see it a little bit better on. It's especially on some of these in-between sort of stacking areas and some of these wing areas, especially these skulls over here. You can really see it showing up. So I'm going to go back and hit that with a few more colors. Again, these also, I used this stucco material on the base. I like it because it's smooth enough that your troops can move across it. It won't cause them to tip over, but it also breaks up the monotony of the base. So I kind of like it a lot, actually. Here's a quick conversion we did this week. This is a Grey Knight Dreadnought conversion with side cannon, and I don't think the Grey Knight Dreadnoughts get force weapons. I think they just get close combat weapons, but I like the Librarian weapon a lot. So this kind of glaive, and it looks a lot like the one from the Forge World line. So basically this is just a kit bash from 2 different Dreadnoughts, just the Veteran Dreadnought, and then some bits from the Blood Angels Dreadnought, the Furioso Dread. And that's nice and simple. That's currently up in the web store. We can do about 4 of those with the bits we have on hand, and we also offer a painting option for those who are inclined. We got our Oct light hung this week. This is a 24-inch Oct light, or the bulbs are Oct light bulbs. So for those of you who are a fan of daylight balanced bulbs, what we did was we got one of these ballasts from Lowe's, and then we just simply changed the plug over with one of these. We rewired it. The shelf life on this will be shorter. It'll probably only last about 4 or 5 years, but these things are cheap, about $10 for a ballast. So I can afford to replace 1 or 2 of those over the course of my career. Let's see what else we got. Another thing that's happened on this thing really got sort of pushed to the back burner this week, although I like it. I did touch up the Sphinxes one more time with some more wash, but that's all I've done. So this is probably next on my docket list. Some Shrikes here. These Shrikes have the bone sword that I built from a Hive Tyrant headpiece. Those I sold in the web store, but they didn't seem to be too popular despite the way I like them. See if I can get you a better look at them there. These Shrikes were really simple. No one really bought them because I think Shrikes are just one of those models that are a finesse model. It seems difficult to be able to pay, 55 points for a model that basically can suffer instant death. When you compare it to something like an Obliterator or that sort of thing, it's hard to justify that many points for a model at 55 points for just 2 wounds in T4. You either want more wounds or higher toughness or Eternal Warrior or something that makes them more survivable. But I'm going to experiment with them. We have a Planet Strike game coming up in a week or so. And because of Planet Strike and I'm playing the attacker, I can take up to 6 fast attack choices. So I'm really looking forward to trying some Shrikes and some Raveners, just really hitting them with a bunch of fast attack and see what happens. The only other thing we're working on this week is we've got these new lights. We're going to add some lights to our photo area. So our photo area over here, which is okay, these front lights are a little, not really, I don't put out the amount of light that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a cage for them using some PVC pipe. And then that cage is going to be able to suspend more lighting. And, we'll use the new background piece after I OSL a little bit, and then that'll be that. So I guess that's about it for now. Lots of stuff has got finished up this week, including the terrain. More stuff will be coming. Look for stuff on the web store. Oh, one last thing while I'm thinking about it. We did a Dreadnought, a Hellbrute conversion. Let me see if I can find him. This was kind of fun. There he is. Okay. So there's the basic Hellbrute, which you can get from Dark Vengeance, which is very popular. And you can get him for next to nothing. To be fair, you can really get him for about $15. Like, there's so many of them that people just are selling the crap out of them. What you can't get from the Dark Vengeance Dreadnought is a Dreadnought with modifications. Now, today is October the 5th, but there have been some copies of the leaked Chaos Codex online through some sites. If you look hard enough, you can find them. And so now that people have seen the leaked codex and they've been able to realize that Hellbrute is going to have upgrade options, including all the basic Dreadnought options like Power Scourge from the old edition, Thunder Hammers, Power Fists, Heavy Flamers, Reaper Auto Cannons, Twin Link Las Cannons, Plasma Cannons, all the basic stuff that you're used to. Because of that, it was time to go ahead and start converting one up. So this is our Dread are our Hellbrute with Power Scourge and Plasma Cannon. The gray stuff work is pretty simple. I just kept it nice and simple there to make it look like flesh, congealed with metal there. For this one, we just removed the Power Fist and just inserted that there. So we kept it pretty simple. If you wanted to throw a few chaosy bits on there, you could. But overall, I think it works pretty well. I love the size of that Plasma Cannon with the model, and it looks like he's just about to clobber somebody. So we're putting those up in the web store. We have enough Power Scourges left from previous conversion work that we can probably do about 4 or 5 of those. We also have some other options like Power Claws. We could do a set of Power Claws to create 2 Power Fists. We've got a Thunder Hammer we could do. We've got several Plasma Cannons and Twin-Link Las Cannons. We've got a few bits for Reaper Auto Cannons. So we've got a few things we could do for modifications, missile launchers, that sort of stuff. We just need clients who are interested in buying them. So if you've bought if you're interested in expanding your Chaos Army, wanted to get a Hellbrute but really wanted some modifications, don't want to wait for the Hellbrute kit to come out, no matter how long that takes, just contact us at caleb@yahoo.com. The White Metal Games address has been disabled temporarily while the website is getting uploaded and built. So just calebfilm@yahoo.com. You can email me. Certainly let us know if there's anything you're interested in seeing. We'd be happy to work something up if we find that it's a useful conversion. Maybe other people will enjoy it too. Until then, feel free to look at our web store, White Metal Games, on eBay. Just go to eBay and search for seller White Metal Games, all one word, and you should be able to find us. We've got several Army deals up there right now, including $2,000 for 2,000 points, any way you like, up to 3 Forge Rolled units, your choice, as long as they're 40k based units and not Apocalypse based units. So if you're a Necron player, you could do whatever, 9, 12 flyers, however many they allow you. If you're a Space Marine player and you want some Imperial Guard allies with some Forge World vehicles, that's a great deal for it. We have smaller specials too, like $500 for 500 points, but generally the more points you spend, the more money you spend with us, the more options you get for conversions, upgrades, that sort of thing. So if you wanted to do, say, some Tyranid Harpies, which they don't have kits for right now, we could do that for you as one of your upgrades. And that's all included in your base price. So be sure to check that out. Just look for table-ready Army deals on eBay, and you'll be able to find them. Just look for table-ready Army deal 40K. We're the only people that have that exact search parameter. And we've got about seven or so deals out there right now. A point value for every army and plenty of options for any player. We only have 1 army pictured right now, but we're working on 2 more. We've got a Chaos Army we're working on, and we have a Tyranid Army we're working on, and we also have an IG Army we're working on. So we should have some more sample picks if you're interested in waiting. If you're not, then you can certainly get the jump on it, and we could probably cut you a little bit of a discount if you wanted to get in early and do, say, 1,500 points for whatever, $1,200 or 2,000 points for $1,500, we could probably help you out. As long as you're willing to work with us a little bit, maybe on some of the modifications. But the easiest way to find out is to contact us at calebfilm@yahoo.com and let us know what your army list, what you're interested in. Any army, any allies will work for us, and we are happy to work with you on your budget and your models. So contact us, and until next week, put your minis where your mouth is. Have a good week. Bye-bye.